Now, the Prince of Wales, he says his Earthshot Prize this year, the finalists are the most exciting nominees ever.
Yeah, that was in a video that he released where he also unveiled those who'd made the shortlist. And our royal correspondent, Cameron Walker, has been looking into it.
I'm delighted to introduce you to this year's 50 new Earthshot Prize finalists. These solutions are some of the most exciting, innovative and impactful we've seen. And the people behind them are true inspirations. I know you're as passionate as I am about making a difference to our planet, and we can't wait to share their stories with you.
Prince William's unveiled his fourth cohort of Earthshot Prize finalists, each finding a new solution to repair the planet, with an ambition to scale it and tackle what are claimed to be urgent climate challenges. 15 finalists from across the world are now in the running to receive 5 £1 million prizes, which will be awarded in Cape Town this November. British finalists Douglas Martin, who founded MyAlgae, offering a sustainable plant-based alternative to fish oil, and Dimple Patel from Nature Metrics, which uses eDNA to produce an accurate picture of an area's biodiversity, explains how Prince William is having an impact.
The networks that Prince William's able to open, and honestly, just to be here and to see the people in the room is a testament to the amount of work that he's put in.
Is able to really drive forward that conversation of we can do this properly, we can use the right data, we can quantify our impact, and then we can hold people accountable to make sure that we're taking the steps we need to build a greener future.
The Prince of Wales started this mission in 2020, keen to turn doom and gloom scaremongering into climate optimism. There are 5 categories, or Earthshots: protect and restore nature, clean our air, revive our oceans, build a waste-free world, and fix our climate. Inspired by John F. Kennedy's Moonshot project achieving the seemingly impossible task to put a man on the moon, Prince William wants to find seemingly impossible solutions to restore the planet. He's taking after his father, the King, and grandfather, Prince Philip, as environmentalists, and Michael Bloomberg, who now advises Earthshot winners, believes the future King's focus is young people.
The Prince is helping the next generation lead the way by building on his family's long track record of environmental stewardship.
From transforming food waste into nutritious ingredients to bringing clean energy to rural Africa, this year's finalists are hoping to make a global impact. The prize ceremony is just weeks away, but that will just be the start of their journey to make that dream into a reality. Cameron Walker, GB News.
All of that comes as Prince Harry appeared in New York without his wife.
Yeah, and on top of that, Harry has recently attended a charity event in California alone where Meghan pulled out at the last minute due to illness.
So what do we read into all of this? A coincidence or a crack starting to show? Let's go to Royal and Showbiz reporter Kinsey Schofield, and she'll tell us what she thinks about all of this. Kinsey, good morning.
Done. It's over. I'm just kidding. No, I think that I looked at the dates of last year when those rumors started circulating from Radar Online about Harry and Meghan taking time apart, and it was around this time last year. So maybe... And I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not a mom, but I don't know. Maybe as a mom, Meghan likes to spend the fall with her kids. Maybe that's when they have the fun holiday parties at the school and you're getting your Halloween costumes ready. Maybe she just likes to stay at home with the kids once the holidays start kicking into high gear. But it was interesting to me that around the same time last year, these rumors started to circulate that Harry and Meghan, they were frustrated professionally and taking some time apart. And, you also have Prince Harry coming to visit you in the next few days without Meghan Markle as well for the Well Child Awards.
Yeah, and they did come together previously for those awards, didn't they? Famously when the late Queen died, and then they popped, I think, across to the Netherlands or something for the Invictus. So they're not always apart at this time of year, but who knows, as you say, it's perfectly normal for couples to work separately. But there's also lots of briefing about their employees and how happy they are. And I've just been reading in the Daily Mail this morning that one of their employees has said that the Sussexes watered the seeds so that we can flourish.
That's the sort of crud language that she would use,
They heard we adopted a dog, and the next day I had a luxury brand leash on my doorstep. So the front page says
stop somebody else resigning. Why don't we get all the people who have resigned over the past 5 years or whatever? on the talk
But
about
there's some
this.
counter-briefing, isn't there, going on from Montecito?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we saw this rebuttal almost immediately. There were reports in the Express saying that this was a disgruntled former employee. But if there's a disgruntled former employee, they are disgruntled for a reason. So it's almost as if that excuse doesn't justify what we're hearing, for, the negative information that we're receiving about Harry and Meghan's toxic management style. I mean, I do think, it's my personal opinion, that they do have issues when it comes to communication and when it comes to management and making decisions. And if you're working underneath them, that's got to be a struggle.
How would you describe, Kinsey, the dynamic of the relationship?
I think that there is a very specific person that wears the pants in the family, and she knows where to buy luxury dog leashes. That's how I would describe that.
My director is saying that's most women, though, isn't it? That they maybe call the shots, know where the luxury leashes are. No pun intended there. Listen, we've got him, as you say, coming over to the UK. Will there be any meetings, do you think, between perhaps the King and his long-lost son?
Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you. If I told you that I had any of that information, I would be lying. And I would say that anybody that tells you otherwise is lying, because the King and Prince Harry are trying to prove to each other that they can trust each other. And so we won't have that information until well after the fact. So if I'm being honest with you, I have no clue. I think we all hope for some sort of reunion or reconciliation, because you don't want to see families, especially when your father is ill. You don't want to see them at such a distance with each other. But I do believe that they're not going to release that information because both of them are trying to prove to each other that they can trust each other.
So what would you say Harry's next moves are going to be over the next year, for instance? I mean, how does he identify himself, and how does he establish himself in people's minds?
Well, look, looking at that timeline that I was explaining about Harry and Meghan last year versus this year, they had headlines like from Rolling Stone magazine, Harry and Meghan in their flop era. What have they accomplished since then that is tangible? Not really anything. They've had several Netflix flops. They did have their big blockbuster, but everything else has not connected with audiences. And what I think we're seeing from Prince Harry in New York right now is him trying to rehabilitate his image. Commercial success, but he became a punchline here in the States. He really became a punchline all over the country based on some of the content in his book that he dwelled on. So I think he's trying to redeem himself. He's trying to become a respected thought leader. And that's really what these visuals are in New York, and when we see Harry and Meghan on some of these tours.
Finally, Kinsey, I'm just looking at our Your Say page, and people are commenting on Prince William. We just saw him in that VT before we came to you, launching his Earthshot Prize nominees, and they're talking about the beard. They called him a scruffy ... What's your view on the beard look? I'm not a fan myself, I've got to be honest.
Oh, really? I think he looks very comfortable. I think he's very handsome with it. But I'm much more interested in the Princess of Wales Christmas concert than any of Harry and Meghan's stuff. I'd like that on the record.
I hope she plays the piano. There's just something about her long flowing locks, a ball gown, and tinkling on the ivories. It's just poetic. Fingers crossed.
It is.
Thanks, Kinsey.
I can't wait.
Cheers. See ya.